Alright, YouTube, back with another recap of our game of Kings and Kaisers. This is a recap of round 6. It's been quite an eventful round, to say the least. Here's a look at the boneyard dish. We got a lot of stuff in here. We got a German dreadnought. We got British fighters, German cruisers, or a cruiser, and a French cruiser, French transports, ground units of various kinds. We even have a Zeppelin has fallen prey to French fighters. So onward and upward with the rest of it. But yeah, fairly eventful round. Austria took over Rome, so thereby pretty much eliminating Italy from the game. They've taken over Rome, and when they took over Rome, they got no casualties. They eliminated the Italians, and the Italians got no hits in return. It was pretty brutal to watch. And so that happened, and they haven't done the Axis. Sorry, not Axis. Central Powers have not done anything with their units in Caucasus. They've just stayed there. Austria built a transport here in 34 because they have this sea base or naval base, and what else? Been fortifying, building units in the Balkans, building units back at home. They're making tons of money. I think they built these units, these sea units, the previous round. They just didn't do anything with them. Doing all this stuff right here, and yeah, that's pretty much Austria-Hungary in a nutshell. Moving on to the Russian Civil War. The whites went first this time, and then the Soviets went, and we had the whites attacked the Soviets in Kazan, got a good amount of hits. I think they got like 7. It was like 7 and 7 hits or something like that, right? And because it was contested, the Soviets just built all their unit. They moved in to reinforce, and they built units in Kazan, because if it's a civil war, you can build infantry and cavalry in contested territories. Siberia remains contested. The Japanese attacked them and knocked the Soviets down 1 unit, and the Soviets knocked them down 2 units, infantry respectively. And that pretty much about summarizes that. The whites have all this stuff over here, the Soviets have all this stuff, and Estonia is still contested with 3 and 3 infantry each, and the Soviet cruiser is still alive in 26. Pretty much does it for the Russian Civil War. As you can see, the Japanese have been helping them out over here, the moving units up here, the Americans have been moving units up as well. And on to Germany. Germany did a really dirty move and took their cruiser, their lone cruiser that they had in 20, and went 1, 2, 3. And I messed up when I did my US turn, and I should have put a blocker in here, and I did not. And he attacked he attacked a paired set of transports. He made it through the mines right there in that sea zone, came through and attacked them, knocked them out. The French retaliated with a cruiser and a dreadnought, and that German cruiser put up a fight because it took our cruiser and it damaged my dreadnought. So there's that. And then, but to counter that, kind of, and in the same turn, the Germans attacked Belgium with disastrous results. He went in with 2 infantry and 3 fighters, was it? Or it was either 2 infantry and 3 fighters, or it was 3 infantry and 2 fighters against 6 units, and I got 5 hits, so I wiped him out. He only got 2 hits against me, and so that was a disaster for Germany right there. He only left 1 unit in Alsace, so on France's turn, I swapped units in Belgium, took out Alsace. Also back into Germany's turn, he did a Zeppelin raid against Paris. I had 2 fighters there to intercept his Zeppelins with, and they got 1 hit against him. He got no hits against me, so he's 1 Zeppelin short. And then on top of that, the bomb he dropped did not hit, so France lost no money, while Germany lost a Zeppelin. So that was exciting, to say the least. France went in and took Alsace without casualties, overwhelming. Took all their air units and their infantry, some infantry in there, and backed out. Germany has been doing the usual buildup. We have our first tanks on the board. He bought 4 tanks. There's 4 A7Vs right there. Those are all of that stuff is with the units here in Rhine province. And yeah, so we got tanks finally in the game. He built units there. He built units there. He built units there. Continuing moving units this way. leaving the units down over there. And then France, like I said, did all the stuff in retaliation return over there, and then did a few shucking of some units. They took out, they captured Romania, backed out of Syrian desert, and attacked Hejaz, however you say this. I honestly have no idea. Ooh, that reminds me, I should put a... I'll lose it. I'm sure I'll lose it, but this makes me feel a little better having one of those. Mecca, right? So, let's see. Where's Mecca? Little dark, I forgot to turn the light on. Apologies. It's somewhere. Where is it? Mecca. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, sorry. You weren't even looking at it. My bad. So yeah, Allies have Mecca. I don't expect to hold it. But anyway, yeah, so Allies have Mecca, and they took Armenia, Mesopotamia, like they fortified Mesopotamia with that French unit. British Empire consolidated and got really lucky on tech, consolidated in Persia, placed a trench works in Persia, kept on to another trench works, and placed improved sea mines in Sea Zone 20. And also, what else did they get? They got a naval port, which they placed in West India. So now they can build sea units here too. So yeah, we got some consolidation here in Persia, leading up to a big push, hopefully, and or big defense, either or. And the French also have a trench works that they have yet to place either. It kind of depends on what Germany does, and so on and so forth. But we'll get there when we come to it. What else? Okay, let's see. British Empire. Oh yeah, British Empire basically had to abandon South Africa for the most part because of the pressure in Africa and the Middle East. I can only do one or the other, more or less. So I decided to go with the Middle East. Africa is going to be kind of a lost cause. The victory point at the end of the game is whoever controls the most African territories for Africa. That's the African victory point. So at the end of the game, whoever has the most gets the Africa point. Time will tell. He's going to have some time to gobble up as many territories as he can for the time being, but we'll see. We'll ultimately see how it goes. Especially because he has a poison. Germany, East Africa has a trench works, a military base, poison gas. There's also a machine gun here in Portuguese East Africa. It's gnarly. Even if with me convoying them and stuff like that, it's only sucking away a few IPCs. But anyway, that pretty much covers Britain. They're exhausted with the Anzac units that were there. So just sending over here what I can, pretty much. Britain did a massive naval buy. With the French moved their sea units in there. The Americans moved their sea units in there. The British used their fighters. They had 4 fighters in London to attack because he moved that cruiser out of there. He had the Dreadnought and all these subs. And so I used the fighters to attack the Dreadnought. They can't attack the subs, so they can attack the Dreadnought and then move back there. So they sunk the Dreadnought. I did lose 2 fighters in the process of doing it, but whatever, that was fun. And then the Americans came in here and they sent their cruisers in to attack the remaining 4 subs that were in here. And I was like 4 subs against 4 cruisers, and the cruisers detected the subs, so they couldn't submerge, and knocked down 2 subs and then retreated, so that there's safety in numbers pretty much, because the Germans still have not declared unrestricted submarine warfare, so all those subs can attack at 3 if they so choose to. If he chooses to declare unrestricted submarine warfare, they get to attack in convoy at 3 for 1 round. So 3 dice or less. 3 or less, and convoy with 3 dice or less for 1 round. And then after that, it's done. America's already at war, so there's less of a conflict. If he declares it before America's at war, then that brings America in early. But anyway, so America's been coming in, and America dropped off a whole bunch of units here in Brittany, so there are other Allied units finally helping out the French. Wahoo! But still, it's very crazy. We got all these French units here in Verdun, all these German units here. in Rhine province. You can't quite see that, but that's a stack of, stack of, there's a lot of units here. Yeah. Oh, sorry, not in frame, my bad. There's a lot of units there. And there's a lot of units here. It's been a big buildup of stuff, so we'll see. Time will tell, as always. We got 4 rounds of combat left. Japan, like I said, attacked Siberia with not great results, but whatever. And then fortified in Qingdao because China is not looking great. So Japan is just kind of like doing its thing over here. The Ottomans, having finally taken Egypt, moved into Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, moved into Libya. They also took out a French cruiser, as this canal is now open. They used their cruiser to take out a French transport here in Sea Zone 36, which is what got the French guy there in the first place. They knocked him out without a casualty. They retook Syrian desert and pretty much left everything else as is. So Ottomans have been playing very conservatively and all that. Moving on, Italy barely exists. So they basically just moved the sea units out and just kind of called it as is. They barely exist. They've been just demolished off the board. America, like I said, came in, taking the Brazilian boys with them, moving a few more units over here to help out the whites, while having to focus mostly on everything going on over here. They did, however, build their first fighter and their first tank, which is, as you can see, that's a skeleton tank right there. But anyway, that's that. And then the Chinese Civil War, the pro-Allied China went first, and the pro-Central Power side went second. So you can see this is the final result. They finally took Chahar. They lost in artillery against Yan'an. That's okay. So right now we're looking at this situation. Central Power side, China has been winning the National Protection War pretty much the entire time. And that about does it for round 6. So on to round 7 with Austria-Hungary. Well, let's see what Madman has in store for us. Again, here is the casualties from this round. I'll just kind of go over the board a little bit. Yes, all these units are in here. All those units are in there. All those units are there. All of these units are here. Austria is kicking butt. Yeah. Currently, let me get the lights on. In terms of victory points, don't mind the glare. Let's see. Allies have 4 still, not including the fate of Russia, which currently they probably are getting the fate of Russia, but I don't expect them to hold that. Currently, Central Powers probably also have the China point. They have Sofia. They have 3 minor cities. The Central Powers have 3 minor cities and 5 minor cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So none of that has changed. If they get 1 more minor city, then they have a 7th minor city point, which is very possible. Belgrade, Suez Canal, Black Sea, Balkans. They have the Empire point quite handily. Allies still have the Western Front point and the favorable trade point. Favorable trade being who has the most mainland Europe territory control along over here, along these sea zones. This season. So whoever has the most territories here, which the Central Powers have 1, Allies have 3. Netherlands could, of course, be brought into that. What was it? Western Front is who has the most territory control here, pretty much, so which is still Allied. Minor cities, the only minor cities that the Allies have are Basra and Mecca, I expect to lose Mecca very shortly. Basra could possibly still hang on to. There it is. Oh, actually, no, I take it back. We do have, I forgot to update it. I have Strasbourg. I still also expect to lose that. But hey, I have it, which gives me also Minor Cities 3. Woo! Okay. So currently we have that as well. Let's see. Right there. Yeah. Okay. So fun. I just forgot to update that. Apologies. But yeah, that's basically what it's looking like for this game. It's been a very good game. Very good game. Essentially an advanced playtest, public playtest demonstration, so on and so speak. But I mean, the nuts and bolts of this game are there. Might tweak a few things, but for the most part, nothing with the map. Map is set in stone. But a few of the other things we might change accordingly. But just minor rule things and a few setup changes. But the map is totally there, 100%. Anyway, so that's it for now. Let me just get a total tally. Allies have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Central Powers have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 victory points, which means they really have 4 because the Allies cancel those out. Again, fate in Russia and China are still up in the air. And what is this one? Middle East oil. Middle East oil. Middle East oil, they have to control, whoever controls Arabia, Mesopotamia, Persia, and Caucasus. Nobody has that right now. They have to have all 4 of them. What else? And then the Mediterranean, 4 point. Actually, I take that back. They have that. Do they? Actually, no. Hold on. Let me check. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, they have that. They have 3 out of the 4. So they have the Mediterranean point as well. They have 3 out of the 4 naval bases. 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 1, 2, 3. So that right there is a point. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, the Central Powers are winning with 5 points right now. So fun stuff. Anyway, on to round 7. Let's see how this pans out.